In 2008, the smartest men in suits gambled away the American dream. They turned family homes into toxic casino chips. They crashed the global economy. And while millions of normal working-class people were thrown onto the streets, the bankers who caused the crash walked away with billions in bonuses. This was no accident. There was no glitch in the system. The financial machine worked exactly how Wall Street built it. How did they actually pull this off? How did a localized housing problem get weaponized to hold the entire global economy hostage? To understand how trillions in wealth moved from family savings to financial firms, we have to track the supply chain of a toxic mortgage. We start on the ground level of Main Street and follow it all the way up to the penthouses of Wall Street. The raw material of this crisis was the subprime mortgage. Predatory loan officers handed out massive loans to vulnerable buyers, people who had no realistic way to pay them back. Lenders stopped verifying income. They ignored risk. They offered zero-down loans because they knew they were never going to keep these mortgages on their own books. It became a frantic sprint. The system rewarded pure volume over quality. The more bad loans originators approved, the more immediate fees they collected. The American dream of homeownership was deliberately warped. It became a high-volume, low-quality raw material, manufactured solely to feed Wall Street's greed. Those bad loans immediately moved up the chain. Massive investment banks bought up millions of these highly risky individual mortgages. Banks packed thousands of terrible loans together, creating massive financial instruments called collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs. Wall Street layered these boxes to deceive buyers. They hid rotting debt at the bottom, placing a thin layer of better debt on top to mask the risk. They needed accomplices to sell the lie. Wall Street paid credit rating agencies to stamp these boxes of hidden rot as AAA prime grade. That stamp signaled they were the safest possible investments. Armed with fraudulent ratings, Wall Street went on a selling frenzy. They pushed these toxic bundles onto unsuspecting global banks, pension funds, and foreign governments. Garbage debt was thoroughly disguised as pristine capital. They injected it directly into the central bloodstream of the global economy. Eventually, reality caught up. The housing bubble popped. Introductory rates reset. Ordinary homeowners began defaulting on their original loans. A catastrophic chain reaction followed. As the underlying loans failed, the bottom fell out of the bundled CDOs. Those supposedly safe AAA boxes began exploding on balance sheets everywhere. Panic consumed the market. Global institutions realized they were holding trillions in worthless assets. Trust evaporated instantly. The entire global credit system froze overnight. Wall Street had essentially strapped a bomb to the global economy. By intertwining their toxic casino bets with everyday global finance, they ensured that if they went down, everyone went down with them. This created a hostage situation. The banks were labeled too big to fail. Because they held the global economy hostage, the U.S. government was forced into a corner to prevent total societal collapse. The government panicked. They used hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars to bail out the exact elite institutions that orchestrated the fraud. The consequences split along class lines. Working-class people lost their homes, their jobs, and their life savings. Meanwhile, the architects of the crisis kept their positions and paid themselves massive bonuses using government bailout money. Wall Street survived the crash with their profits intact. They learned that no matter how recklessly they rig the game, the American taxpayer will always be forced to cover their losses.